It's about to get a lot more dangerous in the valley. Stardew Valley is a great game. However, the task of clearing your farm is way too easy. There's no risk involved. Let's change that. With the mod we are about to make, nature will retaliate when we hurt it. Every time we hit a tree with an axe, grass with a scythe or rocks with a pickaxe, it will hit back and deal as much damage to you as you did to it. As with all Stardew mods, we start with Smappy. While Smappy provides many different basic APIs, they do not contain any methods that provide the functionality that we need. We want to hook into the perform tool action methods, but these are not exposed by the APIs. When I couldn't find anything in the basic APIs, I almost gave up. But then I found out about Harmony. Harmony allows us to change the existing game code. We use the prefix and postfix patching functionality. This allows us to keep the original code, but add some code before and after it. That way, the chances of our mod interfering with other mods is as low as possible. We start simple. If you damage a tree, it damages you back. Our first step is getting the example mod to work in combination with Harmony. This is easy enough. Just paste the Harmony code in the example, change it to patch the perform tool action method of the tree class and start the game. Oh. Never mind, apparently it shouldn't return anything. With this base working, we can continue working on the functionality we want. For this we need a tree health variable. In this variable, we save the health of the tree before the tool action is performed using a prefix. Then, in the postfix, we calculate the difference between the health before and after the action. Using the log method, we can print it in the console to see if it works, like this. Wait, what? Why isn't it printing anything? Ah, that's why we have to specify the log level. Rookie mistake. Now it does print the difference. When we hit the tree with an axe, it loses 1 health, and when we hit it with something else, it loses 0 health. Perfect. We can use this difference to check if the farmer did any damage to the tree. If they did, we subtract the difference in health from our farmer's health. And it works! That's it. The mod is done. Just kidding, we need to add a little bit of pizzazz. I want to actually see the tree strike back with an axe. This part is a little bit more difficult. We need to know which way the farmer is facing so we can mirror it to make the tree swing at the player. Oh, that was way easier than I thought it would be. Now we need to know which tool the farmer is holding so we can make the tree use the same tool to hit back. Wait, that was just as easy. We're holding an axe, just like it says right there. The last part we need is the drawing of the tool in the right spot. But since the other two were so easy, this must be perfectly doable as well. No, don't look at the video length. To try to draw the tools, we use the draw tool code from the game class. Well, that didn't work. It's yelling at us that begin has not been called, whatever it is. Nope, it did not like that either. Now we need to call end as well. At least it's not angry anymore, I guess, but there's no X in sight either. Maybe the location is wrong? Nope. Since the draw tool doesn't work, I guess we have to go back to the drawing board. The next thing we try is the draw method and all necessary code that we need to use it from the tool class. And this means copying a whole load of code. Which is almost never a good idea, but we're gonna do it anyway. Well, at least we've seen this one before. Not sure if it is actually a good thing though, since we didn't fix it last time either. And still no X in sight. Great! Chances are that the tiles on which we are drawing are off. So, to see what is happening, we can print the actual tile locations. Fun, it prints the fact that it's a list. That is definitely what I wanted. Okay, I'm not going to lie, I have no clue if these tiles are correct or not. They seem to be, but who knows? Not me. This doesn't work either, so we're going to pivot. Again. Every time we need the animation to play, we're temporarily going to draw an invisible farmer which performs the action. Great plan, right? This is most definitely the path of least resistance. It is definitely the easiest way to achieve this, and it is definitely going to work. We just need to believe in it. Alright then, maybe this was a tad bit too complicated. I don't know how I could have missed it earlier, but there is a much easier way to get this to work. The temporary sprites method. It was right there in front of us. Well, right there in front of me at least. In the farmer class. We just need to edit some variables and there we go. An X on the screen. Wait, what? It worked? Wow! Now we can finally move on to the fun part. Getting the right image to show up in the right place. The temporary sprites method lets us change many things about the sprite, among which the rotation. We can also set the rotation change, which basically makes it turn into a Beyblade. When we give the sprite motion, it moves. I know, definitely unexpected. Getting the right image is tricky. Right now, the image that shows up is the one that is normally shown in the toolbar. Instead, we want the sprite that shows up when the farmer uses a tool. To try and fix this, we replace the menu index of the item with the initial parent tile index. But now the only thing that shows up is this little triangle. If we reference the tool sheet, we can see that this is the very tip of the first image of the X. Maybe the size is wrong? Nope, now it's just a tiny little dot. Wait, what does skill change do? Oh god, it's coming at us. Anyway, going back to getting the right image. We can replace the method that gets the image from the tile sheet with some code that I found in the game file. Oh no, this is not what I wanted. Now the first image of the sheet is running at us. What even is that? I am not sure if I've ever seen this item before. If we change the current tool index to the parent index from earlier, we get the gold watering can running at us. Oh, that's why! The skill change was still at 4. Even when we play around with some of the values, we still do not get the correct image though. To fix this, we do what any programmer does best. Steal some more code. And there it is. The X. Hell yeah. Now we need to make sure that the image is facing the right way. To do this, we can add an offset to the index based on the direction our farmer is facing. We find out which number corresponds to which direction with some good old printing. With that figured out, we add the right offset to the index and there we are. We now have the right image showing up. Wait, no, that's the wrong one. And there we have it, the right image. Now we have to use this image to make it look like the X is swinging at the farmer, which we can do by adding a vector to the location of the farmer. With the X showing up on top of the tree, we can now actually make it rotate. At first glance this seems easy, just use the rotation change variable to make it rotate. Wrong, this just makes it spin around the blade, not the handle. And while I tried to compensate for this by moving the X during spinning, this very much did not work. It basically just ended up looking like an X throwing contest with the farmer as a target. So, instead of using the code that seems very useful for this purpose, we are going to have to do it the hard way. We are going to have to draw every frame separately. Our first frame is in the upright position, but that's the easy part. Now we need to figure out how much the X should be rotated for each frame. When we show the rotation for the values 0 through 10, we can see that it once again rotates around the blade. With these values, we now use the frames for rotation 0 followed by the rotation 6 to 4. Now we need to move each of these frames in such a way that it looks like the X is rotating around the handle instead of rotating around the blade. Since this took roughly 6 million years, I'm going to speed through this process. Not to toot my own horn, but I think it looks great. So great, I just have to keep chopping. Wait, what the hell? What the hell? My health was completely full. You know what? That's a problem for later. To show the X hitting the farmer when we hit the tree from the other side, we can simply copy the frames, flip the sprite, and flip the offset for the X-axis. Oops, we also have to flip the rotation. Now we have two working animations. These are also the only two animations we are going to make. When hitting the tree from above or below, the farmer or tree are blocking the view of the X at all times. So this means that we don't need to add animations for those, right? With the animation out of the way, we can find out what is causing the farmer to die when we chop down the tree stump. Some good old printing and there we go. Apparently the health becomes minus 100 when the stump is destroyed. Luckily this is nothing a few if statements can't fix. And there we go! No more instant death for us. To make the mod work for other objects like fruit trees or grass, we simply have to copy the code and replace the class name, which I did off screen. The last problem we tackle is hitting with melee weapons like a scythe. When we hit the grass with a melee weapon, the animation that it shows is a hammer. However, since the cutoff is a little weird and I didn't want to show the purple, we replace it. If the farmer is holding a melee weapon, we instead show an X animation. With that, the first part of the mod is done. To make weeds, stone and sticks strike back, we need to do it a little bit differently. These do not have their own files, which means that we have to target them another way. The first method we try is to patch the remove object method from the game location file. However, when we finally fix all of the issues, we get rewarded with a shiny red exception. After fixing that issue, the mod no longer crashes, but when we take out our anger on some weeds, they do not react. At all. No eggs in sight. So we try again. This time we patch the do function method from the tool class. Since weeds, stones and sticks are not objects, they do not have a health. So instead of using the health difference, we just subtract 2 from the farmer's health every time they hit one of them. This also means that we no longer need both a pre and a post fix. Instead we only need one of them. To make it work, we copy some more code, change some variables, and there we go. Hitting stone now hurts. Yay! Wait, where's the X? Well, that's a little bit of an issue. Oh, oops, you can't print the object name if it doesn't exist. While we no longer get an error, there is also no consequences for hitting the sapling. So we add one last requirement. If the tree is at stage 3 or smaller, we make the health difference 2. And with that it's done. Now we get to play with it. On the first day I immediately went hard at work. I cleared as much of the farm as I could and planted as many seeds as I could afford. On day 2 I continued clearing more of the farm until tragedy struck. I passed out. And that's when it happened. Harvey saved me. Even though I did not have any money to pay him. That was the moment I knew I had to marry him. Over the next few days I did more farming, deforesting and fishing. I also gave my future husband a coffee, found a dinosaur egg and plotted to murder Lewis. Oh, and of course I did some foraging. All to get Harvey to notice me. But it was all in vain. By day 7 he still barely knew who I was. 7 days of the 3 Fs later, I had 3 whole cups of coffee to give to Harvey and I even had over 4,200 gold. Of that gold I immediately spent half of it on seeds. A few bad luck days later I even took a stab at mining. But that was short-lived given the fact that my health dwindled very quickly. With another coffee and him telling me that I'm young and healthy, I was finally at one heart with Harvey. Then, a few days later, my heart shattered. I went to mow my lawn and I passed out once again. When I woke up in the clinic, next to the bed mind you, I found out that Harvey had taken all of my money. And he didn't even have the decency to apologize.